Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Joel M, and I consider myself to be knowledgeable in game design. And by that I mean I watch a lot of Steve Gaming. Super Bear Adventure. You heard of it? You probably have because you clicked on this video. It's a pretty fun game, pretty fun 3D platformer, and it's genuinely awesome. The platforming is smooth and seamless. The character design is pretty catchy. It's just an all-around great game. And that's why today I will be exploring the wide world. Not really that wide, there's only like 5 of bosses in Super Bear Adventure. And I'll be telling you which ones do it the best and which ones do it the worst and why and how and blah blah blah. Roll intro. Let's take a good look at the very first boss. This is the great turtle golem guy. Look, I didn't do research before this. First of all, you'll notice that the boss has the very typical structure for any bosses in 3D platformer or platformers in general. It's what I like to call the Koopa Kid system, but probably has another name somewhere else that I'm not aware of. But it's the system where you take a boss and you give it 2 phases. First, you have a phase where it's basically just a platforming challenge. Avoid the boss. And then you have an opportunity to attack the boss. And most bosses, you'll notice across platformers and video games, follow this simple format. But you'll notice one thing about the turtle golem guy here is that his avoiding thing, it's not even fun. It's not even hard. It's just rolling at you. As you can see, I avoided it simply by diving a bunch. Now granted, when he does get knocked out and presents you with an opportunity to bonk him, there are boulders falling from the sky, which makes it harder. Next up is the Yeti, or as I like to call him, the Big Bad Bumble. He has 3 attacks, and it's the same thing. Really, you can just avoid him by just standing in the middle and jumping out of the way whenever he attacks you. But you'll see that thing of the hearts being in a very disadvantageous position, where if you want to go get it, if he does one of those javoop voops, it's easier to get hit. These first 2 bosses fall in the category which I call too easy, not fun, just super repetitive, basically just an over-glorified auto-scroller. Next up, we have the Desert Temple, mummy thing? I don't know. Now, this guy, I have to say, I actually really like him. See, he's not set up in the Koopa Kid system. Instead, you have to lure him onto these pallets, which will drop a block on him, which honestly I think is really genius, especially the way it primes you at the beginning, where in order to get to the coffin in the middle of the stage, you have to walk over one of those so you see what it does. Honestly, I'm not even going to complain about this boss at all, but I will complain about it because in order to get to it, you must go through a maze. Look at me straight into the eyes. So the next 2 bosses is what I call the pain in the nose bosses. First up is this mouse that is just his looks pain me. You see this video right here? When I recorded this, I had been playing on my save file for who knows how long. That was the first time I beat him because I simply did not want to beat him. He is just annoying. He has 3 main attacks, just like Bumble, and they're honestly pretty simple attacks. But one thing you'll notice about this stage is it's basically just a 2D platformer. It removes the entire 3rd dimension. A matter of fact, all of these boss stages are pretty boring, just circles or squares, and always with a fixed camera, which just, like, come on, can't we, like, have some fun? Creative? take advantage of Baron's wonderful moveset. This one's real annoyance comes from his vulnerable state. See, most bosses have a very obvious vulnerable state that lasts at least a couple seconds, where you can look at him and say, ah, he's not attacking me. He's obviously bonkable. I just said that. But instead, he comes at you with an attack, looks like an attack, and that's your only opportunity to hit him. But it lasts for only a couple seconds, and so most of the time you panic, dive out of the way, and by the time you turn around, he's stood back up. And it takes so long for him to do his attacks, and it's orders on hard, and then easy, and it's just a pain. And finally, we come to the final boss. The main problem with this one is that technically it's a beta boss, and he's not actually done with the new version yet, so we're stuck with this. The first part of the boss fight encapsulates this honestly kind of fun section at first, where you're just hopping around avoiding the bee, but see, here's the problem. She comes at you and then breaks whatever pile, whatever block you're on, so it's basically just spleef with an AI. But then, halfway through the fights, she pulls out her purple honey spread attack, which we've seen a spread attack like that multiple times, but this time it's terrible because first of all, there's no warning. You don't know when it's coming, and most of the time you're just stepping directly out of the way, so you can't see it coming. She just attacks, and you're like, wait, what? And so you go to collect the heart to heal yourself, then, like, back to that other point about the hearts being in a non-advantageous position, which most of the time is fun, but here, it's just annoying. And so you have to do this, and if you die anywhere in this, you have to go all the way back to the beginning. You see why I don't like this boss? And then, once that's all over, all of a sudden, you're replaced. Your brilliant, wonderful moveset as Baron Bear is replaced by a slow, clunky chicken.
You see anger in my eyes.
That's right, the final part of the boss fight is just spinning around as this chicken and just whacking things. Just whacking things, huh? That's the big climactic end. Now, I know what you're saying. Joel, you just said that's a beta version. It doesn't matter. Like, it's gonna go, he's gonna replace it. And to that I say, that's why I'm making this video. Tell the creator of this game to tell you guys that, hey, the game's not perfect, but he's still working on it. He can improve it. He can look at this video and say, Joel here makes some good points. Mazes are dumb. Anyway, thank you so much for watching this video. I know I've been gone for a while, but, you know, I really want to get back into the groove of things. Anyway, please subscribe now or the tiger will get it. Done.